Had an opportunity to beat a top 20 team Thursday night, just couldn't make enough plays down the stretch. Our defense was outstanding all game as we held James Madison to their lowest point total of the year. Most turnovers they've had, and I think their second worst shooting percentage. So we did a good job there, but we just couldn't make enough plays. We missed some free throws we normally make. One possession game with a minute to go, and we let it go. But we had them on the ropes, and they survived, but they go to Hattiesburg and get beat. Shoot 2 for 17 from 3, don't play as well. Still have some controversy and technical fouls in the game, just like our game. We turned around and played Coastal, one-day prep, and they've got a big team and one of the better rebounding teams in the league. We were able to fight with them. Joe Charles played outstanding. I mean, 25, what do you have? For the week, I think he had 29 rebounds, 25 points, and 8 blocks, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 turnovers. I mean, his stat line was incredible. And he kept us in the game the other night with Fulks and Julian not playing as well. Joe stepped up and really carried some of the scoring load, and we were able to win a tight game. Now we're in the middle of 9 of 12 on the road. You know, I don't think anybody would welcome that, but we're looking forward to the opportunity. We're headed to Troy. They're currently 3-0 in the league. They're 8-1 at home. They've got a scrappy team that will be well coached, and we'll have to play well to win that basketball game. And then from there, we'll go straight to Arkansas State and play in Jonesboro. Those guys have been averaging a lot of points, shooting a lot of threes, and have had some early success as well.
Kind of like an ugly game when you play Troy. So, I mean, how do you kind of look at that matchup?
Yeah, it's the same as normal with those guys. Kevin Scott Cross does a great job. His guard play's always tough. They just scrap, and it's a dogfight, I tell you. And they've got some dogs. They got some guys that really play hard, and they're going to foul a lot. They're not very big. They're one of the few teams that we're just as big, if not bigger than. And we need to try to exploit that to some degree. But we're expecting a tough game. And we've had a lot of success at Troy, but last year's team went over there and lost, and we've got to try to go get this one.
With Joe's performance on Saturday, is that kind of where you see his ability to be on a consistent basis, or do you think that's just the tip of the iceberg with the way he played?
Yeah, he can be consistent in what he's doing for sure. He only got, 4 shots off, maybe 4 or 5 against James Madison. We didn't get him enough shots. We tried. And he should get to the free throw line more. As good a rebounder he is. He had 6 boards the second half against Coastal. But he's one of our most complete players, obviously, and has done a really good job defensively and rebounding the ball this year. He's a good 3-point shooter. Has improved his free throw shooting. And he's not turning the ball over. But he's so active with his hands. He got us off to a good start the other night with a couple of quick steals.
You mentioned all of those things. What's the one aspect of Joe's recent performance that impresses you the most?
Well, the rebounding I love. He knows that. And I challenge him to rebound the ball every night, and he's responded and done a great job there. But just his energy, the way he approaches every day is something that I think is really big for our team, having a young team that he shows a great example of how to play and be efficient in all phases of his game.
Was there a time in recent weeks where, as a staff, y'all said, look, we've got to have Hosanna be a bigger part of the structure of the offense when y'all get into half court? It just seems like he's playing a bigger role.
No, we started focusing on it back when we went to Lake Charles, and he responded. He did the same thing at Rice, and at Marshall, not so much. But the 2 games here, I thought he did a really good job for us. And we know he can score a little bit inside. He's got to be better defensively. We're going to work on that this afternoon. Needs to rebound a little bit better. I mean, Joe needs some help on the glass, and H and Kobe are going to definitely have to help in that area.
With Kobe and Bemis, kind of the last few games haven't been, maybe what they were early in the season. Is it the shots they're taking, or defense is just doing certain things, taking certain strengths away from them, or how would you kind of classify it?
Combination of both. We talk about all the time in conference play, you're playing your neighbor every night, and you know them pretty well. So those two guys are at the top of every scouting report, just like Joe's becoming top of every scouting report in Hosanna. But they have done a good job of taking some things away from those guys, and they've just gotten off to a poor start. They've shot the ball poorly, and they'll rebound. I'm not worried about that. But was glad the other night that Joe had the scoring that he had. And it doesn't matter who scores if for our team, whether it's H or Joe. Kentrell scored 20, Blake scored 20, Themis has scored 20, Kobe scored 20, Joe scored 20. It doesn't matter. It's just we need one person to give us some points. So we were able to overcome the lack of production from those two guys recently. And Mike Thomas played extremely well the other night. I was really encouraged by Mike. We had a talk at practice Saturday afternoon, and he came out was much more aggressive.
Talking about how you just mentioned there's so many guys that can score. Is that what makes this team so special? Having the ability to say, like, all right, Kobe's off tonight, Kentrell can get off, or Kentrell's off, Joe can go off. Is that what kind of makes this team be so dangerous?
That's the beauty of team sports. The different guys step up at different times. And we have a saying, who's going to drive the bus tonight? And different guys drive the bus throughout the season. And as you have a great year like we had last year, and this year, same thing so far, but different players score different games, and you add them all up at the end of the year, and you've had a lot of guys that drove the bus. And that's good because coach doesn't need to drive the bus.
What about Troy's depth issue? How are they depth-wise?
They're good. They got a couple of older guards that are good players, and they picked up a junior college player that's really helped them so far. Kid from Ranger College, where Bray and AU played. But they're going to play hard. They're going to shoot the ball, and they're going to fight for 40 minutes.